Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, Brains and Beauty, where I make videos on my two passions, so brains, because I am a PhD student studying that, and also beauty, in particular makeup. So today's video is going to be on this side, and I realized in the last couple of videos that I made that they were mainly eyeshadow type videos, so I did one video where I mixed eyeshadows to create shades from a palette that I wanted to purchase. Instead of purchasing that palette, I kind of mixed the eyeshadows I already owned to create that color story, and it was so much fun. That was the Myrte palette by Milk Cosmetics. So I did that one, and then I also did another video where I went through all of my eyeshadow palettes in my collection, and I selected my favorite shade in each, and then built like a color story from that, and that was also a lot of fun. But I think I wanted to kind of take a break of the eyeshadows and do just a really basic video for you about base products. So what I'm going to do is just go through my collection. I'll insert the video here where I'm going through with my basket and just picking out all the items that can be somewhat base related. So we're going to be looking at color correctors, foundations, concealers, and any powders. So I grabbed all those from what's on my dresser, in my drawer, and in my fancy display makeup cabinet. I haven't shown you guys this in a while, so if you're interested in like just a tour of my the way I've reorganized my makeup collection, let me know. I'd be happy to film that. But yeah, so just picking out a couple of products from there. And so these are all of the products that I picked out, and they pretty much fill up this basket. But also I have, which weren't over there, they were in this box at my desk because my project pan items are things that I want to be using every day. And this was kind of the reason I really wanted to film this video as well, is because I am doing a project pan, a 21 in 2021, where I'm trying to use up makeup products. And a lot of those 21 items are actually base products. And so I thought before I use them up, I really should do like a swatch video just showing all of the shades in case you were interested in any colors or you already owned one of these colors. And it's easier to compare or understand what other shades look like when you can compare them to something you already own. So I'm just literally going to swatch every single kind of skin tone-ish shade that I own. I'm going to just grab these from my project pan basket. So let's start with this foundation. This is the Nars Sheer Glow Foundation in the shade Deauville. So this product doesn't normally come with a pump, so I'll show you. I have the other shade as well here in the shade Siberia. This is my perfect kind of tan-ish foundation for the summertime, and it has a neutral undertone. Now, my undertone is a bit weird. I have an olive pink undertone on my face, and that's what all of my products are matched towards. When I tan, I lean more into the olive direction. Now, my hands are a light yellow, kind of slightly olive, but mainly just like pure yellow. So my hands are a different undertone than my face, and so you'll see a lot of these probably won't match because it's not the same undertone. I think that's the case for a lot of people. I remember Too Much Tash also did a video where she was like, why are my hands so pink when my face is yellow? And so we kind of have like the reverse problem. But yeah, I think that's very common, and so definitely an advice that I would have, you know, when it's not a pandemic and you can go in and do swatches, is do them on like your cheek or your neck, just because your hands will likely be a different shade. But yeah, today you'll see all of these swatched out on a kind of yellow, light yellow skin tone. I'll also swatch them out on my palms, which is more of like a pink skin tone, so maybe that will help. So we can definitely do that, and after I swatch them, I'm going to also let them sit for a little while, just so that you can also see if any of them oxidize on my skin. So that's the game plan. Let's just get started. So I'm going to swatch these two, and I will say this foundation does not come with a pump. You have to buy this pump separately. Okay, so I did kind of a more heavy swatch on this side and then a more blended sheer swatch here. It is called Sheer Glow, but I think, and a lot of people had kind of the negative thing they could say about this foundation was just that, oh, but it's not glowy. I think the idea is it's a sheer glow, not that it's sheer and glowy, it's that the glow is sheer. So basically they're trying to say it's not glowy, it's like very slightly luminous, which is what I like. I love these kinds of foundations that are very slightly luminous, but more leaning satin. Like that's just the best finish for me. And I guess I should also say I have normal skin, so it does not lean too dry or too oily, and I really like this. It sits very well on it, it lasts well, and it blends out easily. And I think it's becoming a little bit more, like it's coming back into the trends because of TikTok, but yeah, no one had talked about this for a long time, and now I see a lot of people grabbing it again. But yeah, it was a nice foundation, and we'll leave these to sit. Okay, let's do the next shade. As you can see, this is more of a watery kind of formulation. So I'm just going to tilt my hand and let it run down. I feel like this one matches my hand the most because it is very much like a light, very, very fair yellow undertone to it. It's not neutral, I wouldn't say. It does lean a little bit yellow. And this one you can see it leans more like a tan, peachy kind of shade. Okay, sticking with the Nars, let me do the Radiant Creamy Concealers. So this one is in the shade Canelle. So as you can tell, that's a lot more orangey than the shade Deauville. Like this one definitely has more of a beigey quality to it, whereas this is kind of straight up orange for me. So I actually use this as a color corrector. And I also have it blended out in a sheer kind of way right here. And then lastly, I already panned this, so I can link my second project pan update. So I already finished this up and I took out the stopper and everything, which you can do to get even more use out of, but I couldn't get any more eye looks out of this, but I think I could probably get like a swatch I should show you. So yeah. So this is in the shade Vanilla. And for this one, I hope you can see, but it's like a much more kind of pink to gray. So it's not a very strong pink to orange, it's a pink to gray, and I love this kind of undertone. It leans close to becoming neutral, but not neutral. This works really well with my pinky olive undertones. I feel like this kind of color matches my face really well. If it's even a touch more neutral than this, it would be perfect, but this is like one of the closest shades I have to my skin tone. So yeah, it's the vanilla shade from Nars in the Radiant Creamy Concealer. And this formula, I mean, you can look it up. I know the videos will be very old about reviewing the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, but it is still one of the best in my opinion in terms of the formulation. I have certain areas of my skin that I am normal skin, but if I ever have any kind of texture or flakiness, the only thing that can go over it is this concealer, and this literally smooths out that area. I mean, I guess you could use a primer and then go in with a concealer to like smooth out that area if you have that sort of issue, but to have it all in one product is kind of special to me, and I love this formula. So that is all of these shades. So now let's do some more products on the other hand. So I have the Too Faced Born This Way Sculpting Concealer, and this is my favorite concealer. This one and the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer are like the top two. And, you know, as I use up all my products, I pretty much just want to have these two and then leave a space for like one more to play around with and, you know, discover new kind of formulations and stuff like that. But these are like my holy grail go-tos, and they're honestly all I really need. So this one is in the shade Snow. Okay, so that is the shade Snow. I do feel like it's a neutral pinky kind of shade. I think on camera it might be picking up a little bit yellow, but let me show you and compare to this side. So do you see compared to Siberia, it's really not a yellow, like a pure yellow light shade. It's more of a neutral pinky shade. So that's how Snow looks like. It's definitely not leaning orange like these ones, like Deauville or Canelle, but it's not like vanilla. So it's not pink. It's not like a gray pink kind of shade. It still is more of a pinky beige shade, but not too orange. So yeah, I guess it would be the most true neutral out of the ones that I have here, but it still leans pink. So, and I do feel like this one slightly oxidizes. So the rest of these, as far as just, you know, wearing them day to day and everything, I never really noticed that these oxidize. This one I've noticed a couple times that it oxidizes. Not by much, but kind of enough for me to realize it if I go like super heavy with this. So now let's go into a creamy concealer. This is the RMS, and it's in the shade 22. I already used up completely the one that was in the shade 00, and that one is very similar to Siberia, but I just don't have it anymore to show you. But I can show you 22. So I've just scraped it from the sides because I'm panning this, and I had basically made a pan in the middle, and I just wanted to get the stuff around the sides. I don't know if with my nails I'll be able to. Let's see if I can get a little bit of this to show you guys. So that is the shade 22, and I use it as a color corrector. So you can see it compared to Canelle. It is really interesting. I didn't ever like compare them directly like this. So I always thought they were kind of the exact same shade, and they are close. It's just the 22 has a little bit more beige in it. It's not as much of like a true orange. I feel like Canelle is very much a true orange. So you can kind of see that there. I do like these RMS products, but they have a dewy finish. So everything else that I've been swatching has a satin finish, and like I said, that's my favorite. So I've been setting it with this NYX powder. I feel like these look very dewy on the hand swatched, but I hope you can see blended. They are satin. I think it's just I put on a lot of product there, so they're taking very long to dry. But yeah, it is a satin finish for pretty much all of these. I guess this one's looking kind of satin blended out, but I don't know. On my face, it remains very dewy and oily. So let's do this last color corrector. This was from my Vanish box of makeup. I think you actually did see me grab that when I was first grabbing all the products. And the main reason why this was in the Vanish box is because this is way too dark for me as a color corrector. You know, you don't want to use a color corrector, you know, where then basically you need such a heavy coverage concealer to conceal the color corrector. Like that's not the point of color correctors. But yeah, it's kind of too dark for my skin tone. I mean, blended out, you can see it can be kind of. No, it's really not. I'm trying to justify, but really no, it's not. Like that is way too dark. Like this is the color that is the perfect color corrector for me. Same with this one from Canelle, which is the Canelle one is not a color corrector by Nars. It's like an actual shade of the Radiant Creamy Concealer, but yeah, same thing with this one. It's just better to use shades that have a bit of kind of skin tone pigments mixed in rather than pure red orange the way we have with this one from Maybelline. But this one works if I mix it with like the foundation, and that way I can turn it into a paste that is a more skin toned orange than a pure orange. Hope that makes sense. But yeah, so that's that. And this is a matte kind of finish, so I guess you can see the difference between all of these. In terms of color correctors, is there any? Oh, yeah, there's still, okay, so I have this e.l.f. color corrector that's in my project pan, the green one, and then I also had the orange one, so it's the same packaging, it's just that I put it into this empty RMS pot when I finished it. So I can show you this is a color corrector, but this one is still better suited for my skin tone than that really dark orange from Maybelline. So I'll take a little bit and give it a swatch. Okay, so this one is actually created as a color corrector similar to this one, but this is for my skin tone, this is for a deeper skin tone. So let's do that compared to Canelle over here, and then you can see it compared to the RMS 22 shade. So yeah, I definitely like color correctors that are more like this. These are harder to work with, but I usually wear this underneath the Too Faced one, so definitely the coverage of this makes it possible to use this one. So I have now just kind of like these one-off shades, so I can give them a quick swatch. Also, sorry, some of these are so dirty. I'm like panning them, so I'm constantly using them. So that's the green. It's very much a true green. Usually people use this for things like, you know, reducing your redness, or if you have a red pimple, you can tap this on top and it will reduce that. But I don't really have that much redness on my skin. So instead, what I find value for this green color corrector is I basically mix it with any of the other foundations or concealers to make them just a little bit more green. It doesn't actually make them this color of green. What it does is it makes them olive. That's how I figured out how I can have any of these colors perfectly match my skin, because yeah, some of them lean more pink and some of them more yellow and more neutral, but it's rare for you to find one that actually is like proper olive. And so to add in the olive, if you have olive in your undertones, just mix a bit of this into the foundation or concealer and then put that mixture on your face, and that basically gives you an olive undertone. So that's like the hack that I recently discovered. And then lastly, I have the purple color corrector from Sephora, and I never use this one. This is supposed to help if you get sallowness, and sometimes I do, if like I've eaten something, or I don't know, depending on my sleep schedule. Yeah, it's just a very light kind of lilac-y purple. For now, it's in my collection, and I'll use it up. This looks like a rainbow. I'm like, am I doing eyeshadows again, or am I doing base products? Why am I always so colorful? Okay, so that is these products. Now I do have some like powders. So I have this NYX powder, I have the MAC foundation press powder, I have the Fit Me one, and then I also pulled out this e.l.f. contour palette. If you're curious about these, we'll do those as well. But yeah, so let's see. I think what I'll do is, I don't really have any more real estate here. I think I have my thumbs. We could do swatches on my thumbs. So just because I want to keep everything in view so that you can compare it. So this is in my project pan. It's almost done. My favorite powder ever. Like this is I can't not be without this. And I don't use powder to like set my T-zone or anything like that. This powder has a specific role in terms of blurring and lightening. So I kind of use it in a contoury way, but it has just enough light pigment to it, and it's, again, can you guess, a satin finish. But yeah, it has this beautiful blurring quality to it, and I really love this powder. So I'm gonna just swatch it right here, and yeah, you're barely gonna see it because this is also very sheer, so it's like a sheer blurring powder, but I'm gonna try to build it up as much as I can. Yeah, I don't think you see it. Let me see if doing it on my palm helps. Yeah, you can barely see this. I think this is because it's a very sheer type of powder. You're not going to really be able to see it, but it does, like, it does have pigment to it. Just very sheer amount of pigment. Like, this is where it's swatched, and that's my regular skin tone. So you can see it's just a little bit lighter than my skin tone, and it's neutral. That. So now let me swatch this one, which is more pinkish. So this I got Mashed in the store as my shade from MAC, but I feel like it's just a little bit too pink for me. If I wear it in a sheer way on my face, it could match, but it's a bit pink, so Oh, maybe showing you these powders on my fingers is actually better. Also, if you're wondering why this had a crack in it, that's because I dropped it. That's not how it comes. So let me actually swatch this one out as well. So this is in shade 120 there. So you can kind of see that the NYX one is the lightest. And then this one has a bit more, this one's a bit deeper than this one. So it's kind of like the NYX is the lightest, this is the medium, and then this one's a bit deeper. Again, I don't know how it's showing up on camera, but it is more like an orangey pinky powder, the MAC one. This one looks very neutral, right? I don't know why. The couple times that I used it, it just didn't play well if you had any liquids underneath it. So yeah, this one I'm still trying to figure out. That's why it was in the banished box of makeup, because I still don't know how I feel about this. But yeah, I'm still playing with this. Why am I giving you guys reviews when I said this would be a short swatch video? This is just how I am. You get me started talking about makeup and I can't stop. So let's try swatching the MAC one here. I think you can see that more than the NYX powder. Okay, can you see how that powder right there is just a little more pinky orange? It's kind of like this shade, I guess. No, this one's a little bit darker. It's a little bit lighter than that. Let's see it compared to these colors. It's kind of like Deauville, but do you see how it's more pinky than Deauville? And then, yeah, see how like vanilla is more like gray pink? It's not as orange as Canelle for sure. Yeah, the MAC one's kind of like Deauville, I guess, but it's a bit more pink, but like a pinky orange. I don't know if that's making sense. Okay, so that's that, and then I don't know if this is gonna show the powders. Yeah, it's too hard to swatch. I don't think you can see it. Let me try swatching it here. If I give it like a really big swatch. Are you seeing anything? Because I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I think it just like matches my skin tone way too well. Like this skin tone of my hand. Like it's just like a pure yellowy light powder. But yeah, so that's that. I guess I can't show you guys the powders more than that. So this I guess would be a super light white kind of powdery shade as a comparison. And you can barely see that too. I'm learning you can't swatch powders, like face powders, what I'm learning. Let's see, is there really nothing here that will show up, except for obviously those deep contour shades, but that was the lightest shade. This is the more medium shade in the e.l.f. palette. Let's put it here. So I am my natural light right now. That might be also affecting what we're seeing, so let me turn on a ring light. So now it's natural light and a ring light. Oh, I think you can see the powders better. Okay. Yeah, so you can see that was the MAC one, that was the NYX one. Yeah, I still don't think you can see the Fit Me one because it's just literally my skin tone. So I guess that's how you can reference. It is my skin tone. But yeah, so that is all of the shades. This one's really strange. Like all of these are showing up true on camera, but this on camera is showing up kind of yellow to me. I hope in editing it's showing up proper. So that's that. Okay, do I have anything else? Yeah, okay. It's so weird to have a short video. Let's just do one more thing where I can show you. I'm not going to do it for the color correctors. I'm just going to do it for the concealers and foundations. I'm going to do another swatch run on here on my palm. While I'm swatching them out on my palms, I'll put a dark shade. So let me grab. So this is a dark shade that is kind of difficult to cover up. Not impossible, but kind of difficult. And I just want to when I do my swatches, you can see them compared to a pink skin tone that's on my palms, and then you can also see their coverage of this kind of darker reddish orange color corrector. So that's what we're going to do. Let's start off in the same order that we did them before. I'm going to try not to put too much down. Okay, that covered it very well. I hope it's not like wiping away the color corrector because these are all doing really well on top of that. Maybe I should have done like something more heavy duty, like a black line or something with an eyeliner. I could and then go over these. You know what? Let's just do it for science, for makeup science. Alright, so I grabbed my Moxie Lash eyeliner, and this is basically a liner that once it like sets down, it's smudge proof, no water or anything can smudge it. Let's just draw a line. Yeah, so I use this for my magnetic lashes. It's really nice actually. I should do a video on it at some point. If you have anything you'd want to see in that video, let me know. While that dries down, actually, I'm just going to quickly show you if anything has oxidized. So you can see a slight oxidation here. So this is a shade Freshly Applied, and this is a shade, I don't know how long it's been. I don't think I've been filming for that long, so I'll put up a time up here of the accurate time. But yeah, this is how much it's oxidized by. So now let's see this shade. Okay, I don't know why this looks non-existent, but if we compare it to this side, it's slightly like more yellow, freshly applied. Let me blend it out. If it honestly oxidizes to this, I'll be very surprised. Like I never even realized that. So I guess we'll check in on these again, but right now this is freshly applied. This is possibly how it oxidizes. This is how like a thick swatch of it looks. So compared to the thick swatch, it's not that different. But yeah, okay, let's do the Canelle shade. No, I don't think this oxidizes more than, you know, like I think these are just a bit faded. But I don't think, or like I applied very little. I don't think this oxidizes. This looks pretty much the same. I mean, after all, it is an orangey shade, and usually when things oxidize, they oxidize orange. So let's scrape a bit more of this out. Try to. So that's the shade I just applied. Yeah, it oxidized a little bit, but honestly, not. I don't think that's very noticeable for me when I'm wearing it. But I do see a little bit. It just got a little bit more pinky. So I guess I'm learning that a lot of these do oxidize. Maybe that's just like normal for, I guess it's just normal for all different types of formulations to just, when they dry down, get a little bit deeper. Except I don't know, this one disappeared. So let's go on to this side. This is the one that I know oxidizes. So if it doesn't right now, I'm going to be very surprised. Yeah, okay. Do you see how light that looks? And then it becomes this shade. Sorry, I know they look a bit like they're two different swatches. So that's how it is oxidized. That's how it is fresh. So yeah, these thick swatches are kind of, I guess, still drying down. So that's why they look more like the fresh swatch that I just did and blended out. So then lastly, the RMS. I honestly don't think this one oxidizes at all. Yeah, no, it looks like it's the exact same. Yeah, no, that's the exact same. Yeah, you can see this is brighter than this one, but here it's like the same thing. So that's it. I'm not gonna do the color correctors. I don't think color correctors really change color. Let's continue with this. I think it's dried. Yeah, I'm not really getting anything off of this. So I'll go over these three. I know, I mean, like you can really see it does cover it. There is a bit of gray, but it covers it really well considering that's like a true black shade. Wait, hold on, before I do this, like look at that. that really does turn into, like, it's no longer, like, this, Nars Siberia shade really doesn't stay a like, whitish yellow shade. It does turn into this color. It doesn't stay like that. That's so interesting. Okay. Alright, so that's its coverage. Still pretty great for, like, being that light of a color. And I'm applying super little, like, I'm not. Let me just do one more dab. Okay, there you go, and that actually covered it. So it's buildable. It can definitely build to that. So yeah, that's pretty good. I could even honestly build the other one probably. So let's do another layer on that one. Still a little bit peeking through in this one, and even this one a little bit, but yeah. Okay, cool. Let me do the vanilla shade. Honestly, they're covering it really well. Alright, so next is the vanilla shade. Okay, considering I'm literally scraping, so I'm not getting that much. That's pretty good coverage for a really light shade. No, I'm pretty satisfied with this. Alright, so next we'll do the Too Faced. Yeah, that was pretty easy coverage for that one. Yeah, like see, like this has more coverage than a couple layers of these two foundations. This is just really good in terms of being full coverage. So the last one we're gonna do is the RMS 22. Okay, so I've let this liner dry a little bit. It doesn't transfer. Let's see if this covers. Okay, not bad. I mean, it is sheer. Yeah, I feel like for the amount that I put in, like I'll try to build it up a little bit. Honestly, it's not doing so bad. For being like one of those, dewy, your skin but better kind of concealers, I think it does have some coverage if you build it up for a second layer. I'm gonna give these other ones just like one more layer to be fair, because I gave the foundation and the other stuff a layer, so I'll just boop a little bit there. Yeah, I just don't. You're gonna have to forgive me, but the vanilla one probably is not as accurate as the rest. But yeah, overall, honestly, they covered more than I expected. We can kind of let them dry down, but yeah. Also, oh my gosh, look, this really does disappear. So that's interesting. Like, you think you know a foundation, you've had it for 4 years, and then and then you do a swatch video and you actually learn a little bit something new about it. So this was useful for me. I hope it was a useful video for you. But yeah, so that's that shade. And then if you want to take a look again at this side, and then this is the outcome of, whoa, I totally did smear that. Oh my gosh, my nail. Okay, I'm getting messy, hold on. I think that, oh my gosh, I almost forgot. I didn't do this one. Okay, last thing. I didn't even mention this. This is supposed to be more of a, as it says, highlighter. So it's like kind of like a cream highlighter, but not dewy or sparkly or anything. It's just that the fact that it's a very light shade, you can use it to contour in that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare it to the vanilla shade because I feel like these two are very close to each other. The main difference is that this one is like, rather than being a gray pink, it's like a very true white pink. And it's also very sheer because again, it's not meant to be a concealer. These are concealers. This is like a highlighting liquid, so it's meant to kind of blend in and then become just a part of your skin tone. So that is that shade. And then if you want to just do a line, the thinnest of lines. Yeah, so that is that shade. It's very sheer. It's not meant to be a concealer or a foundation or anything like that. It has like zero oranginess, zero yellowness. It's just like a true pink and white kind of shade. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up the video. I hope this was useful for you, that you enjoyed the comparisons and you got to see, whether things oxidize, how they look blended out versus swatched, some comparisons between the different shades. And then this kind of just assessing the level of coverage of some of the shades. But yeah, like I said, I think this is a little bit too much for just an ordinary makeup consumer. Like I'm not, at least this channel, I don't plan for it to be like a dedicated review channel where I build a huge collection. I kind of wanted to represent more the average makeup lover who has like a couple of products and uses them up and then buys new ones to try them out, but it's more of that nature of things. So this is like, other than eyeshadows, this is like the biggest part of my collection. So I am trying to whittle this down and hopefully just have basically this one and the Nars Radiant Vanilla, and then have space for just 1/3 kind of base product to just, try out the new formulations and stuff that come out. And yeah, that's basically it. I will always have one color corrector that's green to help, make things a little more olive when I need them to be. And then I also will always have one kind of color corrector, but it's really just an orangey shade from one of the lines of concealer that I'm using. But yeah, I hope you found this video helpful. Please give it a like if you did, and I'd love if you subscribed if you like these kind of project pan videos. I'm going to be doing more of these updates because a lot of these are in project pans, so I actually track how many times I use each of the products in order to finish them up. So I think that's kind of fun data to look at. And yeah, so if you like that kind of video, please do subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.